So, did you invite me, or...
Yep, I just sent an invite through.
Okay, there we go. Perfect. Stream. Oh. Well, I guess, the way that I'm currently streaming it is, oh boy, that doesn't let that happen. Oops. Yeah, can you join me instead?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm sorry about this technical glitch, chat. There we go. Okay, everything's back to normal. So, alright, I'll just go emissary for Athena's, I think.
Sure.
For both of us. So, I'm still getting my feet under me a little bit after, after getting attacked on the metro on last Saturday. Yeah, it's been about a week of recovery, since then. I've been getting out a little bit more with friends and stuff, but I haven't touched much in the way of video games in a bit, other than my, my new iPad mini 256 gigabytes, which I tried to install Apple Arcade games on, but then, I had, a very weird error, where I had to, thank you for joining the stream, all of you, by the way. Appreciate it. I'm still getting my presenter voice back a little bit after somebody told me they didn't like the way I looked and yelled at me. Anyway, so basically it was a weird blue button that just was labeled UE that prevented me from actually signing in to play any of the games for our Apple Arcade. So I'm guessing you've already put down the Athena's Voyage that you would want.
Yep. I just put one down.
Okay. Perfect. Oh wait, no, we shouldn't dive. Oh, well, too late.
Oh,
unless you want to cancel it. No, it's not that we have treasure already. It's just that both of the times that we've actually tried to dive, there's been some sort of glitch, or at least that I have.
Oh yeah, that's right. You know what? Let's
first
just try to see what happens. It has been patched since then, so...
That is true, they have had the update patch.
Let's just find out.
I hope it's not because we effed around and then found out. But yeah, like, basically, for those who don't know, what happened is I ended up, getting stuck in a watery limbo forever when I dove to location, but then tried to drag the anchor to stop it from happening. And then, on another stream, both Kevin and I got stuck for several, minutes while the food that I was cooking in the galley hold was burning and set our ship on fire without us even knowing, so that was fun. Yeah, the other thing is, unfortunately, that there's not been a lot of fun things in the world right now. Like I want to be excited, for instance, for, RDJ being Dr. Doom, but I get people's concerns about it. I don't really know how Marvel could have addressed that, because it seems like what happened was that it was just in an existential crisis and they needed an immediate injection of fan hype. And, well, Dr. Doom is Romani in the comics. This isn't the first time that a superhero's race has been changed to appeal to a broader audience, and it probably won't be the last. And I mean a broader audience being like China. So this isn't just about American racism, it's about global stuff. I mean, I want to see the movie, but most of the time, Marvel movies aren't really worth seeing in theaters anymore anyway, so it's probably just an easy decision for me to, to just wait. And yet, it just seems like this problem is everywhere, like how the Genshin Impact... I think that it's a southeast coded land. I mean, the solution to this is very, very tricky. And as it pertains to video games, there are a lot of issues that mirror their wider culture at the moment. Right? I want to see what your opinion is on all that. Like,
You're cutting out a little.
I am.
Sentences you said, I think.
Oh, crap. Oh, this is not great, but I was just saying, like, what are your thoughts on the video game voice actor strike?
I mean, it just feels like the same song and dance again, but with more AI concerns. So it's like, you know, the companies seem very unwilling to budge on that stuff because it will save them a whole lot of money if they can just synthesize people's voices. But then, I mean, if I was a voice actor, I wouldn't want to give up that right for anything. You know, give up potential future work and sign my rights away like that. So,
at least not without with free royalties, I suppose.
Yeah, but even with the royalties, it's like you're giving up potential of future work, and it's probably not great for the entire industry as a whole.
Yeah, and then for the really big voice actors, they're always going to get work. Like how Harrison Ford said that he was just an idiot for money when it came to playing Red Hulk.
Yep.
He knows how to do. So I was like, okay, I guess.
It's a bigger concern for the people who are trying to work day in and day out to get those jobs, not for the people who only have to do a couple jobs a year to make ends meet.
Or to make $80 million like RPG.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
For that much money, you could make a small and unassuming superhero movie. And then, like, get it to a wide release if you market it guerrilla. I don't know, like, how many really small revivals of franchises do we not have because Microsoft decided to go for the big immediate solution of buying Activision? Or how many books haven't been published because there's only 5 big publishers and they all want the easy money of summer beach reads and stuff, and then aren't really fighting super hard for authors who are small and getting eaten alive by AI on Amazon. It's amazing to me, as someone who's trying to be a small author eventually, that by the time I actually finish this thing, nobody might read it. For the other reasons than the usual nobody reads indie authors bit. At least Grand Theft Auto is exempt from the voice game actors strike, so we can have our GTA 6 eventually, and people can stop making memes about this came out before GTA 6. Or maybe they'll start making the memes about GTA 6 came out before this. For how long things will just continue to take for some reason. But maybe some of it is the stupid budgets for some of the top talent here. Like, again, $80 million for one guy. I know it'll probably make him $1 billion or whatever and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you can get the bank, you should where you can. Because, like, this one woman, whose name I'm forgetting off the top of my head, made sure to get her bag when she sang in concerts that P.T. Barnum hosted. And as you can imagine, he was very much a carnival barker, hyping up the shows, and she didn't like that. She wanted her art to be expressed, and she wanted to donate money to her charities. So, yeah. Anyway, you were saying?
I honestly forget what I was saying. I've had a very long week at work. My brain's fried.
Okay.
I basically have worked every day since last weekend.
Well, dang.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, tomorrow, I was so happy, because I have 6 days off after today. Well, I am working 4 hours tomorrow, as I just found out. But
right.
after that, I'm off for 6 days, so... I kind of
Uh,
piled up all the overtime shifts into 1 week just to get it over with, so that I can take off 6 days and have them not ask me to commit.
I see. Is this the Riddle Island? Yeah, it seems
Yep,
like this is
I'm
the Riddle
almost
Island. I
done with
keep
it.
getting
It's pretty
confused with that.
straightforward.
That's good. And then, well, that gives me the opportunity to ask. How's your Xbox 360 archival project going?
Oh yeah. So I looked into the indie game stuff. It didn't seem like I had anything that hadn't been documented or anything. So, I didn't really have to do anything with that. And then as far as the store shut down, I did end up spending like 80 or 90 bucks on it. So
Wow!
it was more than I expected.
Okay.
Because initially I was like, all right, I'm just going to buy a few things on sale. I'm like, oh, wait, I want to buy this. I want to have this. Because I mostly went for stuff that, did have physical versions, but they were more expensive than the digital versions. Like, for example, Eternal Sonata goes for like $30 or $40 physical, but it was, I think, $20 digital. So I'm like, hey, if I just buy this now, I'll just have it. Yeah.
That
So I
sounds
bought
like
that.
a good game to get for that price.
Yeah, so I'm like, hey, this is the last time they're going to be offering it for this kind of price. And I've always been interested in actually finishing that game.
I see. Well, and it's not backwards compatible, so that,
Exactly.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. So actually, I bought that, and I bought the other full price game I bought was Need for Speed. What's it called? Need for Speed Most Wanted. Yeah, the 2012 Need for Speed game.
Oh wow!
Not the 2005.
That's a good one to save digitally.
That's the one that they called. They've used that name twice in 2005 and 2012.
Well, that's not confusing
so I
at
bought
all.
The 2012 one. I know. So I bought that because that's another one I remember enjoying the demo for way back. So that was another like $15 or $20. But again, it goes for more than that physical. So I was like, why not? Yeah, and I bought Burnout 3, and a few other smaller things.
I think I have Burnout 3.
Yeah.
And I think that's backwards compatible as well.
Or
maybe not.
Backwards compatible? No, it's Burnout Revenge. Burnout Revenge is backwards
compatible. Derp.
Yeah, so that's the main stuff that I bought. And then I also found out in the process of, hooking my 360 back up that my Play and Charge kit, my, battery, after 17 years finally gave out. So I ordered a new one of those.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and speaking of...
I ended up playing like 4 or 5 hours of Eternal Sonata so far. Pretty good.
Nice.
I'm glad I'm doing that.
Yeah, the only game I really bought was bought was a bundle of $7 for Apple Arcade that ended up being useless. So, I probably would have bought some games for some money in the store. Yeah, I'm a bit tired too. But, anyway, so, I was very interested in, Remember Me, of course. Then there was one, like, the Dust game, about being a janitor in 2D that I told you about. Dust Force, thank you. See, we're helping each other out. But yeah, I managed to get Remember Me for about $4 on CD keys, and it runs flawlessly on my Steam Deck. So it's pretty interesting so far.
Yeah, I played the first like 3 chapters or so last month.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm back to the ship, by the way. You ready? Yeah, I know it's not a super long game, so I definitely do want to finish it someday.
And once I get my stuff a little bit more together, I will definitely focus on clearing out some of my Steam Deck backlog instead of just installing a bunch of free games all the time. And so, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so that's not very far at all.
Yeah.
And I don't see any Burning Blade. on this map.
Yeah, like, even if we did spot it, I don't know if I'd have time for it tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, that
I was
seems
planning
to make
be on
sense.
until like midnight or so, but then around 9, my boss texted me like, "Hey, we're really
Wow!
short on people tomorrow. I know you said you're, off for 6 days, but can you just do like 4 hours?" I was like, "All right."
Yeah, yeah. And at my work, I finally got my laptop fixed from the Wi-Fi issue that it had. I had been working off of a VPN for a while, and I'm advocating for that as a cost-saving measure where I work, but that might meet some resistance. And yes, we do still need work laptops for in the office and stuff like that, but like, I'm in the office once a week, and the only time that people are there is when there's a party. So, yeah, I can't imagine being called in like that. Sorry about that, but that's okay. We'll just enjoy the time that we have now, then.
Whatever. I mean, as far as that goes, like, it makes me feel less guilty about all the money I've spent on video games in the past couple of weeks, so...
Because you can then make it up.
Especially because literally right before we started playing, I got the pop-up on my Xbox that my Game Pass expires today. So I'm like, well, better buy another 3 years. So it's like, okay. I knew that was coming up, so I was like kind of ready to make that payment. But that's another reason why I didn't spring on that PSVR 2 deal, because I knew I had my Game Pass renewal coming up.
Yeah, that's fine, honestly. PSVR 2 is flying and racing and bow shooting its way into the sunset. But my big splurge was actually on really fancy food with a friend, which was the first time that I'd been out to eat at a place that fancy in a while. And they had, like, pillowy soft scallop gnocchi, which you would think means, like, scallops that are stuffed into gnocchi. But no, it's just that they're cooked so well and soft that they're really good. I had Doug egg ravioli in there too that was eaten by spoon in little duck egg shaped cups with duck egg in them, with little duck feet on them. That's how fancy this place was.
Oh wow!
So it was a bit of a
definitely
pretty
never
funny.
had that. Oh.
Hey, I've never seen this place before either, and I live very close by, so that was pretty great. And you know what? I guess I splurged a little bit on the iPad too, but like I needed more storage. Seriously, what I realize is that app caches keep sneaking up on you, and it seems like a lot of things have sort of do that lately. Like Destiny 2 just being just gutted from the inside out by corporate mandates. No spin-off, no expansions. Probably not Destiny 3 for now. It seems like Sony just wants to cut expenses where possible, and that includes the people. I think, like, there's 220 confirmed layoffs, and then a bunch of people are also being moved into PlayStation in a like first-party studio.
Restructuring. We might take a little damage here. I was a little late getting the sales up.
Okay, well, I'll go down and repair if need be. I think I have some wood on me.
I was busy redeeming all my Game Pass codes.
Oh! Don't redeem your Game Pass and sale, people.
I was actually worried because, like, I was like, I got home around 9, and then I was like, oh man, I gotta renew my Game Pass because I don't want to find out what happens if, like, I'm mid-game and it officially decides to, get subscriptions up.
Your Xbox jump scares you, like in Five Nights at Freddy's.
I still haven't, like, bought this game. I still just play it through Game Pass. So,
I bought it through the discount that they had pretty shortly after launch for $47.99. But I was also a mad lad and bought the disc version of it at first twice. Once for me and once for a friend of mine, because remember, I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to keep Game Pass, and then I ended up canceling it anyway, and I was glad that I had the Sea of Thieves with gold well, now Game Pass Core, and now $15 more, because we gotta make that money immediately. Gotta get those eyeballs immediately. Gotta get those Fire TV grandmas immediately. Gotta
I was surprised. I looked at CD keys, and because I was like, oh, I know about the Game Pass price increases, so I'm probably gonna have to pay way more than last time I re-upped it in 2021. But CD keys has 3-month codes for $30, so I just bought a zillion of those.
I'll do you one better. I found a code for 3 months stackable, I'm assuming, for on Game Evo for $23.
Oh wow.
And that gives me more than enough time to grind out through rewards. So I'm just gonna keep digging around here. Just in the hopes.
It's gotta be somewhere on. Oh wait, it might be around here.
I haven't exactly been the most focused on the game itself. But next week I'm gonna really bring it by getting a galleon crew together, and we're gonna take on the Burning Blade. That's what I want to do. Anyway.
It might be near this rock.
Seems like they're just cutting waste, quote unquote, everywhere, like Game Informer.
Yeah, that was super unfortunate.
I'm sure you have a lot more memories about it than me.
I re-upped my Game Informer subscription for the first time in like a decade a few months ago, because they started offering it, like, you know, without having to do the whole GameStop Pro whatever stuff for the first time in forever. And it was also like a really good deal, like only a couple bucks an issue. So I was like, hey, this is
oh no, I'm stuck! Yeah.
Or you just that sucks. Did you want me to try like firebombing you or something?
Yeah, probably. Just firebomb me.
I don't.
It's okay.
Let me go.
It's okay. I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh no. Oh, you have to actually get the fire bombs. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting weird, like, stacked firebomb sounds now, which is hilarious. I'm just burning. I'm just burning myself. So okay, you probably don't even need to do the mercy.
Okay.
Oh, yep. Okay then. Why does this keep happening with this game? I just decide to climb up over random geometry, and then this happens.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, like, no matter how much bug testing they can do on the geometry and stuff, there's always going to be those edge cases where...
Yeah, that's true.
When the captain just showed up.
And speaking of edgy cases, I'm going to point the finger for all of this at Mr. Beast. Because, you know what? I've been like Sherlock Holmes, I think. And that may sound presumptuous, but I can explain. Basically, I've been trying to trace the root of a lot of the trends that we've been seeing lately. It seems like a lot of this really kicked off in 2017. Because, like, for the first few years of the last generation, it was still very much, like, about offline and single-player games. You know, there were the usual multiplayer titans like Call of Duty and stuff, but nothing as big and as flashy as Fortnite or Apex or stuff like that. And I blame... Oh no, crap! There's another ship. We gotta get out of here.
Okay, I'm already on the ship. Let's go.
Yep, just go. Just go.
Take some
we don't really have anything! I'll...
Alright, they're hitting us. They hit our mast, I think.
Oh, crap. That's not great.
Probably, they're trying to just take out our mast.
I'm repairing the mast before they can take it down.
Yeah, just keep repairing that. Oh, did they get a cursed cannonball? Oh, they have an alliance thing. They want to...
Okay.
Oh, they're Athena's too. Okay. Let's... Well,
can you...
get up the mast?
That's a very odd way of forming friendships.
Oh, okay.
My guy. Seriously.
I guess they're just being a little forceful about it, but if you want... Alright, they're not...
I'm trying to reach the flag!
Yeah.
I can't! And now I'm stuck on that geometry! What is
happening? Put it back up. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
I'm ringing the bell of like, yeah, we get it. You're being trolls. Okay.
Alright, got it.
Oh, you're using the ship flag box apparently. How? I don't really know.
Okay, I got it.
Spirited Landlubbers Alliance. Indeed. Okay, well, let me see. How do I switch to game chat with these folks? Okay. I can't really do that. It's okay. We'll just figure it out.
You know, we get the gist of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as they're not upset then.
Right. I mean, once you're in an alliance, it's pretty hard to just turn on people unless you break. Hello.
Well, the thing is, there's not really much value on turning. There is some value in turning on people.
There's not a lot of value here. Thank you for your very interesting greeting.
Always better to ask for forgiveness.
I guess so. Let me just, you may want to switch to game chat. I'm able to do game chat. Can you hear me, Mr.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Stubby Eagle? Yeah, but if you want to be heard, Kevin, you should switch to game chat. And I can't really do that from my interface.
Oh, you're good, because I'm going to switch back to my party chat. I just wanted to say, hey.
Okay, never mind then. Alright, so I guess, do we follow your voyages, or do you follow ours? Because, we're already grade 2.
You keep doing... No, you keep doing whatever you were doing, we won't even hear.
Okay, I guess we'll just go our ways then. But add me,
when you
and...
sell, we'll get a little bit of money when we sell.
Add me, and, we can try and take on the Burning Blade next week. What do you say?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think we're going to be hopping in a little bit. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, not now, but yeah, another time. You have a good one.
Yeah, sure.
That was the weirdest thing ever. Okay. Well, that happened. I hate to use Marvel Cinematic Universe cliche dialogue for that, but still, I can't really say anything else.
For a few seconds, but I just caught the tail end of that. Okay, cool. All right, well, we're here for some chess, so I guess we'll just do that.
Okay, yeah. I might stick around on the ship just in case.
Okay.
Whatever just in case.
Yeah. We don't have
Seems like they're just fighting skellies, so.
Yeah.
I mean. Well, you know what? I'll just join you. That's fine. What was I talking about before we got attacked?
Something about we were talking about Bungie for a bit. And just kind of wider trends and stuff.
Oh yes. Now I know. So maybe Mr. Beast sent this person to disrupt us, so we couldn't expose him. But seriously, this guy is the root of all evil. Cartographer throwing knives, nice. Let me see if I can throwing knife this pig. Nope, missed. Anyway, so I mean, it's not like he caused all of this himself. It's not like he did the layoffs or anything. It's just that his videos were really the explosion of the attention-grabbing, instant gratification videos on YouTube. And they were part of the white crest of a really gnarly wave. So it was a warning sign that, people would just be competing for prizes. And that was going to be our culture. And it seems like people just compete for prizes now. Including getting to keep their jobs. Like, working their butts off, and then just getting laid off anyway. And the game being successful, like the Final Shape was. I regret spending money on the Final Shape now, because of this. And I wanted to see how all of this story ended. I mean, some of this is on Bungie, because they didn't really know what they wanted the game to be for the longest time. But, on the other hand, Sony buying them was definitely not a good thing. In my opinion, what do you think?
Well, in retrospect, for sure. It's because it just seems like... But then again, it feels like Bungie already has been bailed out so many times, or Destiny feels like it shouldn't have lasted this long, especially Destiny 2, with how, they had Activision, then parted ways with them, and somehow the game keeps going, and then Somehow they have other products spinning up, and it's just like, I guess everyone, it seems like the overvaluation that Sony had in them was just, because of probably their legacy and the names attached to it. But then you look at what's actually happening, it's like, okay, they have one live service game that's seeing diminishing returns. Why is the valuation for them actually, why did Sony spend this much on them in the long run?
I guess our friend fired a flare for some reason. Okay. Is it maybe because
I don't know. I'm feeling very stupid. I'm not finding this one chest.
I'm just following you. I should engage my map center in my brain.
It might be further down this way. Yep, there it is.
Oh yeah, this is one of those complicated
I just had to
islands.
step 5 feet to my left before I was digging.
It's all right. We're both getting back up to speed a little bit, but I think it is the overvaluations. We gotta just spend as much money as possible to get an advantage quickly.
Because I remember back when, when Bungie was bought by Sony, there were the questions about why didn't Microsoft do this first? It feels like Microsoft should have put in a bid for this, and maybe they did. And I think the reporting was that Microsoft did, bid for it, but it's like Sony probably outbid them out of fear that Microsoft was going to gobble them up, because this was also in the midst of the Activision stuff, and Sony was probably a little bit scared of Microsoft continuing to buy all these studios. So I think that could be part of the reason Sony overpaid too, is because they just they essentially use the buy it now feature on eBay, just let's put in this really huge bid and make it so no one else can.
Wow.
Because maybe Microsoft saw that bid and went, wow, that's way too much money.
Seriously.
Because I remember hearing that back when Bungie was in talks when the rumors were first going around, and then eventually confirmed that Sony had bought them. It's you have to imagine that Microsoft at least had some idea of what they wanted to pay for it, and clearly Sony outbid them.
I see.
And then I'm sure Microsoft, I'm sure the people looking at the business side of things at Microsoft were like, why did Sony just pay, I think, what was it?
$3.6 billion, I think.
I was going to say 3-something billion, for Bungie. This studio that has, plenty of value to it, but, is not, it's that number just feels off, even for someone who doesn't know that kind of stuff intimately, someone who spends all day thinking about it.
Another reason why Microsoft may not have really put their hearts into bidding for the studio that they let go in 2007.
Yeah, or that was a very different climate, though.
Yeah, but still, why didn't they do this given this history? And given that Bungie could really supercharge Halo stuff, it's because they have Destiny 2 already, and that's multi-platform already. So their next project couldn't be exclusive.
And if you're looking at why would Microsoft just buy Bungie and stick them back in the Halo mines? There's a reason Bungie left Halo. They were the people who were there at the time were done with it, and back in 2009. When 343 was spun off, there was a slight exodus from Bungie of people who wanted to continue working on Halo. So it's not as if there was no Bungie talent working on the newer Halo games, at least Halo 4 and 5. I think by the time Infinite came out, there had been a lot of turnover. But the current people working at Bungie are not the people primarily who were working on Halo 1 and 2. So if you want Halo 1 and 2 again, you would seek out the developers of Halo 1 and 2, who were long gone and, running their own studios by that time, a lot of them. So
I gotta get back to
people
the
asking,
to make sure I don't overcook.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I just feel like I always get that argument of, why doesn't X company buy Y company and make them do Z? And it's like, well, they last worked on said game a decade and a half ago. That company is no longer interested in doing that, or doesn't have the same talent pool that they had at the time. Why would you want that? I don't know.
Well,
It's just one of those things. It's just the same franchisization that movies go through, where it's like, why don't we get this talented director to make our Marvel? It's like, why would you want to just, like, why wouldn't you want it to be more of an autonomous thing than just give them a big paycheck? You know, let it be an actual creative spur of inspiration, not just, we need to make this game to make our money.
yeah.
So let's just get the old studio back on it.
For all the drama that was there for a second by Jamie Lee Curtis saying that the MCU was bad, if she had been given $10 million, she would have absolutely. Because people like paychecks.
Anything for $10 million, yeah.
But, like, at the same time, I see the problem. Anyway, but at the same time, like, I think that the people actually passionately working on things are just not getting bosses who understand how to best utilize them, which is a lot of these budget balloons and things, including the $2.3 million in... Yeah, $2.3 million in classic cars.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck was that?
Parsons. Yeah, that was a funny one. I mean, I just I'm sure he probably didn't know that whole thing was public and easily Googleable, and people had a reason to Google it. Like, yeah, that sure is something.
Well, like, basically, the problem is that management wants results right now, and developers want to take their time. And while many developers and publishers are learning the value of taking their time, you can't really always afford to do that in the live service space, which is what probably crunched a lot of great ideas away from Destiny 2 that could have made the plot make more sense, for instance, or some of the UI hiccups more manageable, because we need to get this out by this, is what Activision said, is what Sony says, and I'm sure Final Shape was successful, but maybe Sony wanted an unrealistic amount of success. That's a thing too with executives. I just took out 3 skeletons with 1 sword swipe. Anyway, like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of talented people from High Moon Studios who worked on the Deadpool game are just no longer there or no longer in the industry, and they worked their hearts out, but because some arbitrary license thing happened, now people can't play their game unless they spend a bunch of money on a copy.
Yeah,
on
I
eBay.
feel so bad about the timing on that game, because that game kind of came out right before the movie blew up, like a couple years before. And
then they relisted it for the movie.
Yeah, exactly. They relisted it at a, they were like, hey, people care about this character now. People outside of comic fans know who this character is. So, but like, I remember when that game came out, it was just like not super well received, because, I mean, I do remember the gameplay not being amazing, but not terrible. But I think people just didn't really understand. Like, it probably would have sold much, much better on release if it had come out to coincide with the movie.
It probably would have, but then what other kinds of demands would have been placed on them because of that? Would they have been allowed to do certain things? I mean, yeah, it's an R-rated Deadpool game, but like allowed in terms of like gameplay mechanics, like this idea that makes the game better, but it would take too long, and then suddenly the movie, the demands of the movie. I mean, like, it isn't like Deadpool didn't have a chance of becoming a hit, so if they had timed that from the beginning, they probably would have put that financial pressure on the developers, whether the the movie turned out to be a big box office smash or not. I mean, that happened all the time in the era of superhero movies that is now being glamorized a bit in Deadpool versus Wolverine. Well, and Wolverine, but it's kind of versus. Well, I'll explain. But and I haven't seen it, but
I saw it last week.
And your thoughts?
I thought it was pretty good. I think a lot of the humor landed it better than the previous two Deadpool movies, just because they were allowed to play a bit with the actual Marvel universe this time, and do, more like, I think the referential humor worked better than I thought it would, because,
I found it!
Gonna be all nice. I thought it was just going to be all like, "Ooh, I'm Deadpool. Look, we can say swear words in a Marvel film now." And there was some of that, but there was also a lot of just it was a little more clever than that, I guess.
Yeah, probably relying on
the Marvel jokes.
Yeah, nostalgia in particular for the Fox X-Men and Fox universes.
And I also didn't really see any pre-release stuff for it or see any spoilers, so there were some legitimate surprises that people in the theater gasped at. So I won't spoil those if you don't want me to, but they were.
No, I've spoiled them myself.
I was super happy. Oh, okay.
This isn't a spoiler stream myself,
okay.
So I won't be spoiling the chat, people. But
I'm not gonna just blather it out, but some really interesting stuff where I'm this is. Although some of it did get a little too there was one line in particular where I'm like, all right, we didn't need to bring that back. That line was amazing in its original movie. It didn't need a redo.
I'm betting it's one of the really cheesy ones from Daredevil or Elektra or something like that.
One of those early 2000s movies. Not going to say which because it would spoil things.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what, I was going to not see it, but now I have the same attitude about it that I did about the Deadpool game when I rented it for 2 nights from Redbox. It'll be fun at least. 'Cause, Deadpool 1, amazing. I did not see a very Deadpool Christmas, because that seemed very, I don't know, hammy.
I also
by the time Deadpool 2 came out, I was a little bit tired of, Rick and Morty style reference humor, and yet they still managed to make a decent movie. It just wasn't as good, because they ended up getting further and further away from the side characters that were actually close to Deadpool. From what I understand of this Logan has never interacted with any of the original, or maybe he, because, I guess his death later on, but, in a different universe, I don't understand this universe crap anymore. It's just a cheat for the writers.
Yeah.
Oh, Captain!
Oh, nice. The movie does get very referential as well with, I'm gonna spoil one line from it, but it's a really good, it doesn't really, it's mostly just a joke about Marvel that I enjoyed, because it's one of those lines where it's the people on the inside know how rough Marvel movies have been since Endgame, because basically when Deadpool and Wolverine meet up, they start explaining the multiverse to them, and I don't remember the line exactly, but Deadpool's basically this whole multiverse stuff really has not been working out for us.
Yeah, but
essentially it's just we need to just kind of drop this thread.
Yeah, lampshading, it works to an extent, I guess.
Yeah, but that's the thing that I didn't expect them to be that directly, essentially dumping on Marvel's recent output. So, but that'll only actually be interesting to see if the actual movies coming out in the next few years do shift directions. It just seems like maybe they are, but I don't keep close enough attention to care that much.
Yeah. They needed a quick shift in direction with Doomsday, and that's what they got.
Yep.
he might show up at the end of First Steps for like 5 seconds, or maybe RDJ will be in it with his face on, and that's the only movie that he won't have the mask on. That would still be a little bit better, but again, then people will... I mean, people will complain about the whitewashing, and then they'll see it anyway. I'll probably wait for Disney Plus for most of these, honestly. And that's... unless, like, Doomsday is, like, an absolutely amazing return to form pre-Endgame, which I don't really know if it will be, because you can't... To your point earlier about, like, you can't just recapture lightning in a bottle even with the same people. Even with the Russo brothers returning, it's not going to be the same. And now they want to serious up their storylines because they failed. If the multiverse had wildly succeeded, everything would be even more decontextualized. Like, all the stakes would be paper thin. That doesn't mean that they're gonna suddenly know how to introduce grounded stakes again, because they're gonna have to clean up a bunch of stupid blackcraft that nobody cares about anymore, like the Eternals. Just a giant god statue being in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Apparently got, like, one reference in She-Hulk or something. That would be very... The world building of the Marvel Cinematic Universe loves to try and reset to modern day, but that's harder to do with live action, as it becomes clear that the Marvel Earth is far, far different than ours, having been rocked by multiple apocalyptic events that should have destroyed human civilization. That's just kind of the annoying world building stuff that I like to make clear in my things, but well, like, at least there is still quality stuff coming out, and it's taking its time. Like, apparently Avowed got delayed a little bit.
I saw that, like 3 months or so.
Yeah, honestly, that was looking pretty crowded, especially with all the hype around Black Ops 6 now. Because, well, I'll complain about the fact that it's being shoved into a subscription service, that now the prices are being increased, but, well, even though I voted with my wallet and didn't give Microsoft any money, I'm still playing this game. Because of the Call of Duty social tax, as I've mentioned many times. So they got the easy money button. That's going to deploy after they, again, got people on price increases. Like, apparently people really liked your take about getting people on the cheap Call of Duty first and then locking them in. So there might be a shareholder vote for you to finally be president of Microsoft. I'm really pushing for that here. Anyway.
Yeah, and like, I mean, for me, like I was saying, as long as you can, like, I had found those relatively cheap keys on TV keys, it's like I just locked in 3 years for not too much money comparatively to just going month to month.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now I don't have to think about that for another 3 years. I'm good.
Yeah, with that many codes about.
I'm sure by 2027, like, the price will have gone up again, but it's like, I don't have to think about that till then, and I'll evaluate it then. But for now, I'm locked into the price that I have now.
I'm gonna go...
I have no reason to not keep subscribing, because I enjoy the service enough. I get plenty of value out of it.
I'm gonna go with the... I'm gonna go with the Microsoft Rewards option for as long as physically possible.
The main reason I don't do that is because I prefer to do, like, the auto redeem for the $10 gift card every month.
Oh yeah,
and just
that
have
helps.
That. I feel like that feels a little. I prefer to budget it out that way and just have my Game Pass set for a couple years.
Yeah, that makes sense. The reason why I do the Microsoft Rewards at face value is because I knew they were going to get rid of the auto redeem for Game Pass eventually, and it was very confusing. So I just was like, whatever, I'll just redeem for this, and I have redeemed for other things lately, like Target and Amazon gift cards and Xbox gift cards, but now I'm really focused on this. Now I'm gonna basically just get Infinite Game Pass for free for the rest of this exploit's longevity. Again, I might be grandfathered in for a very long time because of being an idiot in college. But, like, yeah, it's just very concerning, though, that these options are being slightly restricted. Because now it just seems like they're just cut, in order to get fast money wherever possible. And again, it seems like this is touching on an innate human instinct as well, to get the easy food, the scavenge kill, the mushrooms on the ground, that kind of thing. And it could have all been based on fraud, like Mr. Beast apparently rigging contests, possibly, which it certainly could happen, and YouTube is unregulated wasteland. But now he's bringing that unregulated cesspool wasteland to Amazon Prime, including having 2,000 people compete while not giving them underwear or medications. Apparently several people have had seizures on the set.
Oh.
Yeah. So, basically what we have now, what I'm realizing now, is that a lot of systems are desperately trying to burn their people to keep warm. Like, and in order to get the easiest returns. So of course they're gonna try and do AI and lay off people, because if they just press the "we need a new Marvel movie" button, and then we have a new Marvel movie in 2042 or whatever, and it's all AI, and who cares because the kids are wearing their mind jacks or whatever, and will just eat up anything that says Marvel on it. That would be the ultimate dream, is just infinite money without them being inconvenienced by having to deal with unions and stuff. Of course, then the question becomes, if all the CEO does is just press the layoff button or the "I need button, why can't AI do that? The employees should rise up and have the AI seize the means of the production. Just kidding. But, like, nonsense things like a three-pronged gaming approach. You heard about that, right? From... Oh, we're at 16, by the way. From Satya. Oh, it looks like our friends sold a few things.
Yeah, they've been selling a bunch of stuff, which is helpful for us.
I didn't even really notice that, so...
Yeah, we just have to do the skeletons, which I should have time to do. And then we should probably sell and call it in.
Absolutely. But yeah, he said at an earnings call that I guess the only reason Xbox grew by 61% was because of Activision Blizzard and services, and there's a hefty decline in a 42% decline year over year in Xbox hardware revenue. So I get why he's saying we need to focus on as many places as possible. But as I said last time, the jack of all trades, master of none approach isn't going to work for Microsoft, in my opinion. Because you know why people bought Xbox hardware? Because there were games for it. Like, because it had a unique experience. Setting up a new iPad reminded me that for all of Apple's faults, they really know how to make devices fun and not feel like boring, boxy PCs. Like, even just the PS5, that's still kind of bland in terms of user interface, but the opening animation where the logo comes on screen and there's stars, like, that at least shows some identity. Instead of, this is the Game Pass box! You know? And it's like, yeah, I'll keep buying it, I guess, if it's the Game Pass box, but I just won't buy it at launch if there's nothing special about each place. That does, and I mean each place, because there can be special things about mobile too, and PC. PC can have their centric games, and we can have our timed release windows, perhaps. that are going to be on PC too, of course, which is, you know, part of the problem. But like, there's just not enough effort being put into making experiences and pieces of media that actually tug at your heartstrings, that actually make you feel like this is something that will create memories, instead of just regurgitating memories over and over again. Instead of just being like, oh, wow, yeah, this has more power, but weren't those games more special, like with the 360? Again, I really did want to buy the delisted games. I even almost bought an Xbox 360. Then thought better of it, because I figured that by the time I would do all the annoying setup stuff, the store would have been shut down anyway.
Yeah.
And part of the problem is just that there's so many places for things to go that it's hard for anything to stand out anymore. Okay. Just pick
I'm
up
gonna
that.
go bring the ship over here, by the way, because I think all the skeletons should be spawning on this beach. I thought
Sure,
it was going to be
I'll
on
keep
the other
pulling them
beach I
up.
parked at, because that was the one that was actually the northwest beach.
Or you could bring over the rowboat with some throwables, but
I
never
might as well
mind.
just bring over the ship, because we're going to be just fighting those skeletons and leaving.
That is true. I am currently fighting them in the water, which is a bit of a problem. But I'm hoping that I can... Wow, they just ganged up on me.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
probably should have just done
I'm at
the
ship.
sword, but I thought I could hurt a bit more. I didn't handle them in a fighting retreat, because I thought, okay, I'll just delay them until you get hurt. At least it was a battle fail, and not a geography fail or a players want to be friends now fail. So. Trips to the Ferry of the Damned, milestone class 14. I don't know if I like that. But, well, it's a milestone, so take it. And I also underpass for this season. Probably to drop the anchor, because it seems like it's drifting towards rocks.
I have the sails up. It won't cause it.
At least, Oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. It wasn't very, close anyway. But, oh, yeah! Firebomb. Let's see. And you can get exploded. What? Bank shot. Oh, well, I think I still have my food on me if I really need it, but this captain's going down super quick. And then you blocked all the bullets that I tried to do. Oh well.
Down.
Oh, there's more. Yep, okay, here we go. I keep forgetting the off of skeleton wave. It used to be like the main thing to do. PvE.
Yeah. We're definitely not going to hit grade 4 here. Oh,
That
looks
is
like
A-okay.
our alliance ship is fighting a Reaper right now. Good luck to them.
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh no, actually they're allied with Reapers. Are they? Yes, that is them.
What?
Right, so
How do you ally with Reapers as an Athena ship? That feels
not-
like sacrilege.
I guess they probably did all. They were grade 5 Athena, so they probably just cashed out. Now they're doing Reaper stuff.
Well, yeah. Okay, so not allied, I guess, because we would have known if they joined our alliance.
Emissary is what I mean. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. it will be nice to get immediate grade 5, because of the, oh yeah, of the fact that you can, the burning blade, that you can get a chest of fortune that instantly gets you to grade 5 when it sinks. I used to play I used to play Sea of Thieves with that guy. I gotta get back in touch. A friend popped up. Anyway, so like I said, I'm really hoping to get a galleon together. I've customized it and called it the Leaky Bucket, which I think will bring us good luck. I hope. That it will not actually, in fact, leak and can stay together. Because all it really needs to do is get us there and then sink once we get the burning blade. Because I don't know if you saw about the skeleton helpers. That sounds like it'll be really nice for a ship with 10 cannons.
Yeah.
Just munch on that. Right, let me get more
Next, Captain.
throwables and stuff. Alrighty. Wow, I completely missed. I really am tired. But we'll be out of here soon. There we go!
Alright, should be one more wave.
We might get to the end of this deed.
Oh, for the skeleton kills? Yeah.
Yeah.
Close. It's not quite, but there's all seasons to do that.
I'm sure. I'm also sure you're excited to do the puzzles. Because I will be of very little help once we have the burning
I've
blade.
heard good things about those. Because some of the puzzles I haven't been a huge fan of. Like, there's a reason I don't do the siren shrines much anymore. Those ones aren't fun to do, but I've heard good things about the ones that they just added.
That's neat.
Easy enough.
I've heard there's a bit of a glitch that allows you to get 4 times the value as well.
I didn't know about that.
That was revealed by a streamer, but
35. Alright, I should have time. Oh, this is on a smallish island. Let's see, where's Marauder's Isle? I think that's the island it's at. To get the last treasure.
okay.
Yeah, or Marauder's Arch, yeah. I should have time to get over there, then get to an outpost. I just really want to try to get to bed around 11.
Sure.
It sucks going to work tired.
Oh, yeah, believe me, I know.
So
I am not a morning person at all.
If we can just speed run this a little bit and get it done in like 10 minutes and then sell,
Sure,
that should be alright.
Just quick note, Abene. The Reaper has just left Galleon's Grave Outpost, and that appears to be the closest thing, so... So, I'll mark that on the map for us, but... Okay, this xCloud controller drifting is super stupid. This is what I mean by being jack of all trades. As I said before, I want to have a consistently smooth streaming experience so that it doesn't bother me in the middle of trying to make a point or something like that. And this keeps happening. So, the problem is, though, with GeForce Now, that's the PC version, and that means PC keyboard and mouse matchups, which will be hard. Especially with the streaming lag, even with the input method being keyboard and mouse. And then you'd be dragged into it. So,
Yeah.
I gotta think on a lot of things. I'm just glad I didn't try to do too much. Again, I think this week's work in particular, I was really dragging myself through it. Unfortunately, it was another slow day in the middle of the summer in the office. And I was mainly focused on getting my computer re-imaged. So, but basically, I package not go in that because of the attack. What happened was,
You're cutting out a little bit again, by the way.
See, this is what I mean. I need to figure out how to fix this stuff. But basically, I like I said, I'm still getting back into the swing of things with life out. Happened.
Yeah.
I have been very creative because I think writing helps the complete fictional story, especially if it's a completely fictional story. But I was hard time with actually like being ready in the middle of the week to go to a Nothing Burger office. I don't know, like it. Thank you for liking the live, by the way, Joe Schmitz. But that really bothers me about the Mr. Beast stuff, even more than the exploitation, even more than the inhumation, even fraud. Chris is once again a bad apple. Like,
Yeah.
I had been defending Chris after she divorced her wife because I had to divorce my wife after coming out as trans myself. And you know what the comments said on the video that I made of the attack? That I sent it to my local news, but they haven't gotten back to me as well. Meh, figures. Is they were just protecting people from a PDF file, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
I fucking hate algo speak. It's turning into doublethink from 1984. But, well, when 3 companies control the entirety of social media, it feels like, then you have to follow their dumb rules. And that includes not being able to say things the way they actually are. Not being able to have frank conversations, sometimes. There's, of course, room for people to be safe, but, like, Chris is a pedophile. And I'm not! Like, can people stop with the generalized pedophile attack on trans people, though? Because it's only grooming if it's gay. It really is. And that makes me so angry. Like, apparently, Mr. Beast himself might have been in that Discord server himself, and just threw Chris under the bus to protect himself, by, you know, hiring an independent investigation that will probably never do anything. But since he's rich and has a bunch of lawyers, he probably won't be able to be sent to prison. He probably won't be sent to prison. And maybe Chris will, but, like, I don't know. All this is very frustrating because it just feels like the wrong people are getting away with everything. It feels like the people who really should be losing their jobs are the heads of all of these companies that make terrible decisions, like Kevin Feige and Mr. Beast, and, you know, way before that, Harvey Weinstein, who apparently was involved with the production of Hoodwinked, and I hadn't even remembered that part. And now,
oh yeah,
anytime I see the Weinsteins,
his name's all over a zillion movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why that scandal was so huge, because his fingerprints are all over most hits from the 90s and 2000s.
And that's why this scandal with Mr. Beast is so huge, because it seems like a lot of YouTubers defended him. Even ones I really respect have made bad takes, like CoffeeZilla. And it's not to say that I had any information that they didn't. We were all fooled, I think. It's just that they were so confident about it. About that, oh, this can't possibly be a fraud, because he gives to charity. He gives performatively to charity. Does it make a difference if I give $100 million on the street to a homeless person and film it versus $1 and film it? Like, how about actual concrete actions? Like giving your fellow human being water. Maybe just, you know, like, I had to do that for a homeless individual who was lying in the street in a wheelchair in the middle of the since the New Deal. And I had to do something. But, like, he can't do all that with a budget of $100 million for this Beast Game show that's a perverse twisting of the Squid Game into oh, let's do this for real. Let's invent the torture nexus. This won't terribly run at all. And so, like, Amazon just gave him $100 million blank check, basically. The name guarantees the success. Keeps being the thinking. I mean, why else is Suicide Squad being given away for fucking free on Amazon? And nobody wants to play it, even then. You literally cannot get me to buy that game for $1. And, you know, I had thought that that was a different franchise than RoboCop. The technology line was from RoboCop. $10 Man. And the I'd buy it for $1 was RoboCop, because RoboCop, both the movie and the game, really have said something on, or they did say something a long time ago about the fact that a lot of the conditions of just like life are set by people who stand to benefit from making it worse. That's why I'm, you know, going back to the well of shitification. I think people will eventually realize that they should call it beastification instead. Stream the way it is. That's my grand thesis at the end of the day, is that chasing the instant dopamine hit, money, for all of these people, has brought them down. And maybe that's just a human thing too. Because I am like, okay, I'm learning how to be in charge of a small project, a presentation on disability issues in my workplace, and that is complicated. A lot of people have to have eyes on this thing and approve it, and there's a lot of things that need to be considered. And, like, I couldn't have done it without my team, but to think that just because it was my idea, I get to treat them like garbage would never fly in my workplace. Or maybe it's because I'm not at the top. Because, I'll be honest, my workplace is doing yet another shuffling of deck chairs in an attempt to streamline operational issues, but really the problem is that the leadership was very non-communicative. And so people kind of got away with doing a lot of things. That's all I'll say. But, like, I actually want to do a good job and put out good products for people. That's why I try to put as much effort into these streams as I can. Technical issues aside. And I'm getting a small audience, I think. It seems like the people should enjoy it. But I want it to be bigger, obviously. So that's why I'm trying to do things like the Burning Blade stuff. But if could I only fall into the trap of chasing the content? I mean, I have before. The amount of money that I spent on promotions for TikTok videos to get that dopamine hit. Oh no! It lagged me off the deck.
Oh,
no!
I guess mermaid.
Yeah, mermaid. There you go. Yeah. I think we all do. You know, get lured in by that big blue easy button every once in a while. I mean, that's Apple's whole business model is making it really, really easy to just buy stuff without even thinking about it. Because I've remembered some of the dark patterns as well, even just for buying a $7 subscription. They really don't want to make it easy for you to change payment methods without going into your iTunes store settings and fiddling around with that. So that whatever card you put at the top is the one that you always do and you never have to think about it. With Amazon, they bury the cancel plan menus for a little bit. Because, you know what I know what I was going to say. When I went to the Apple Store, I also got to see people spilling over from Otakon. That was really cool and interesting. That was people putting stuff into effort into something they loved. people doing that. Like, really elaborate costumes for Raven of the Inner Palace. Have you heard of that one? That anime?
No.
Well, it's apparently a Chinese historical drama, which, since I'm writing a book about a monarch, really interests me a lot. So that is really nice. And I went to sign up for Crunchyroll, the Prime channel. And they made it super easy and attractive to sign up, and then as hard as they could to cancel it. Like, I think I ended up taking the offer to have it be $4 without ads for a couple months. Just so that if some really interesting new anime comes around and people say, go to Crunchyroll to stream it, I don't have to be like, well, I gotta do all this again. Month to month. I mean, some part of me kicks myself for not really leaning into that when it was, like, free with Game Pass, but I don't know, man. The things are very hard and confusing in a lot of the world right now. I just hope the video game voice actors win their strike, which probably doesn't mean no AI forever. It means, like, you gotta go to the actor every single time you want to do AI voice likeness.
Yeah, I think beating back against the wave of AI completely is probably a fruitless effort, but at least if that's the thing that companies are going to want to be pushing, at least pushing back against it and saying, like, hey, we need to have a say in this rather than just signing away all of our rights and losing out on work.
Well, the AI companies got to the success they did by literally just, as that guy said, asking for forgiveness later when it came to stealing from the pile the captions from YouTube, which was against Google's terms of service, but they didn't say anything because they knew what they were doing, and what they were doing was exactly the same thing with YouTube comments. After editing the terms of service, and people just didn't look at it because, well, why would you? Nobody looks at terms of services.
I think we sold everything, right? We had a lot of good loot, but not like a ton. Or we didn't have a lot of loot, but we had a lot of good stuff. That's
Let me just check to make sure nothing was put in the crow's nest.
I just looked. There's nothing.
Okay. Yeah, then I guess
we can go lower emissary.
I guess so. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I'm gonna pick up the storage crate and leave it, as per tradition. Okay. Yeah, I just, like... something has to break at some point for some of these companies. They can't just cut off their own limbs to survive forever. Because eventually they won't have any people left, and whenever the government cracks down really hard against the stealing, you're gonna have to pay tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in fines. Collectively. And so... I guess when it comes to games, I'm gonna try to get back into them, but to get into Xbox unless it's still very... I do want to settle down with a game. There's some sort of technical issue, like what happened with my iPad, so I guess we'll see how all this shakes out. But next week, having got a negative feeling off my chest, I really do want to do the Burning Blade, if at all possible with you, but just let me know when you're on next, I guess, and I'll try to arrange it.
I mean, so yeah, I do have this week off pretty much. I do have some plans on a couple days, so I won't be available like any day. The day I definitely won't be available is like Tuesday and Wednesday. But
yeah, those will be tough for me anyway.
Yeah, beyond that, maybe I would say Monday I might be available, and possibly Thursday. Those would be the next few days that I can think of that I might be around.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna try to do a stream on the absolutely crazy, insane amount of news that came out of the 2024 politics and election in just the last month. So I'm gonna do that, which means we should set Thursday as the tentative date. And if it happens to be Friday, that's probably fine too, Because I did have plans to go to Philadelphia, but I need to confirm those. If they don't get confirmed by Wednesday, then I will cancel my train and just hang out here over the weekend. Maybe go out with a new friend, try to see other friends, try to just get some balance for getting knocked off balance.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll get balance. So yeah, we'll talk later, bud.
Yeah, I will catch you later. You have a good night.
You too. Bye. And you all have a good night as well.